So, good afternoon, friends, and welcome once again. We have been discussing the background of Indian diaspora and why this is important to understand what constitutes Indian diaspora and the different dimensions it has, because the body of fiction that comes out of it is very closely, uh, to say the least, has been informed perfectly by the experiences and the material reality that surrounds the Indian diaspora. So, continuing my earlier discussion on the different aspects of Indian diaspora, in this particular lecture, I intend to talk about the socio-economic and political aspects of Indian diaspora. So, when we talk about Indian diaspora in the globalized world, we will find how the role of Indian diaspora had changed in the aftermath of globalization. How has it been instrumental in promoting Indian culture, Indian ethos, and Indian heritage? How has it been, helpful in exchange of technologies and sharing of knowledge? um, its participation in trade and commerce, in FDI, and other economic exchanges. To quote, the Indian diaspora has also played a key role in making India an integral part of the global supply chain in innovation and the knowledge economy. So, we don't have to look at Indian diaspora only as a fertile ground for creative writing, but it has so many different dimensions as well. And so, in order to soak in the overall impact and influence of Indian diaspora, we need to know all its dimensions. So, we find that global Indian diaspora is also contributing in a big way in research and higher education. If we were to talk about that, let us first of all talk about socio-economic aspects that have been informed by Indian diaspora. First of all, in the field of education, we find that there have been collaborations between Indian institutes and their foreign counterparts, and they have mostly been negotiated or effected by the people of Indian diaspora, um, resulting in transfer of technologies, transfer of ideas. So now we have uh, so many MOUs with foreign countries, and our students are getting the best of the two top quality institutions of both home and abroad, and in some cases they are also getting dual degrees. So, especially the Indian diaspora has impacted the education sector in a big way. The second thing that we can talk about is the remittances to India. And in my earlier lecture also, I, I discussed this thing that India receives the largest amount of remittances in the world, and this has really helped the Indian economy in a big way. Recently, we found our uh, finance minister was talking big about the forex reserve, and it has been possible because of the remittances that are flowing from the Indian diasporic community. So, this amount supports families and also contributes to Indian economy and contributes to our development projects. So, obviously, diaspora is playing a key role. In 2024, I am quoting Radha Krishnan, who says or who observes, in 2024, India received an estimated $129.1 billion worth of remittances, the highest ever for a country in any year. And the key sources of these remittances have been USA, UK, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Canada. So, if we look at this chart, we can find out that India receives the highest amount of remittances, followed by Mexico, China, Philippines, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Egypt, uh, then Guatemala and Nigeria, Uzbekistan, Indonesia, Vietnam, then Ukraine, Morocco, Colombia, and so on. So, obviously, the Indian diasporic community has lot of contributions to Indian economy. Business and entrepreneurship is another very important area in which the Indian diaspora is standing tall, because they have a very strong business network worldwide, which is impacting both our export, import, and also the future development of trade ties. So, for example, the Gujaratis dominate trade and business in East Africa, USA, and UK, and that is also impacting the Indian business. Some retired NRIs are contributing to our society by opening hospitals and schools and such, altruistic ventures or social ventures that are ultimately helping the country grow. Just to quote few examples, uh, Mr. Pratap Reddy has founded the Apollo Group, which has been contributing in the health sector in a big way. An NRI has started a world class school in Bihar, and there are many such instances where the diasporic people are coming forward and they are helping our business and entrepreneurship grow. So, there have been industry collaborations, uh, uh, new industries have come up, and these diasporic people are also engaged in philanthropic works, so helping out their home community. Um, to quote Burma, who says, Indian diaspora has helped India a lot over many years in terms of trade and investment, innovation, human capital formation, technological advancement, professional network creation. So, we can find out that the impact of Indian diaspora, their contributions are very far reaching, and they are impacting our economy in a long way. They have greater contribution to workforce uh, around the world. If we talk about USA and UK, we find that lot of our skilled IT professionals, doctors, engineers, and white collar workers have been contributing to the workforce in these countries. In Caribbean and African countries, we find lot of Indian diasporic people contributing to agricultural sector, to trade, to industry. In Gulf countries, we find that we are sending lot of people who are contributing as workforce in their construction ventures, in their healthcare and other industries. So, we find that the Indian diasporic people are contributing a lot to our foreign exchanges, to our R&D activities, and also they are effecting new job creation. So, their impact is very effective and very intense, to say the least. I quote from Ghani, who observes, the old dynamic of brain drain had changed into brain circulation. When people migrate, they do not merely leave one country and arrive at another, they breeze the two. Thanks to increased brain circulation, high skilled immigration benefits both sides. So, this phenomenon, which of late is considered very important, was earlier scoffed at because many people believed it as a brain drain, and they thought that the best of our brains are going to benefit other countries. But now we no longer think like that. because a brain in drain, is no better than a brain in circulation. So our brains are benefiting not only the countries to which they have gone, but they are also giving back to their own motherland, as their experiences, their innovations, and their remittances are also targeted towards the development of their home country. So, you know, we have greater contributions towards the world workforce, and that is contributing in a huge way to both the host countries and our own country. If we look at some of the notable Indians who have been at the forefront and they have earned big names for themselves, we can count on these couple of enlightened Indians like Sundar Pichai of Google and Alphabet, Satya Nadella of Microsoft, Santanu Narayan of Adobe, Arvind Krishnan of IBM, Ajay Banga, who is the president of World Bank, Parag Agrawal, former CEO of Twitter, Neil Mohan of YouTube, Lakshman Narasimhan of Starbucks, Revati Advati of Flex, and George Kurian of NetApp, just to mention some of the Indians who have earned the titles of world beaters and world leaders for themselves, and their contributions have been acknowledged around the world. When it comes to political aspect of Indian diaspora, as I said in my earlier lecture, Indians are one of the most economically and politically alive and active community, and that's why wherever they go, they don't mince their words. They are the people who have been effecting political changes, and they are the people who are working at change agents in economy. So we find more than 30 people of Indian origin who have been heads of states in different periods of time in some of the developed countries. To name a few, Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister of the UK, Kamala Harris, the former Vice President of USA, Basdev Pandey and Kamala Prasad, both the former Prime Ministers of Trinidad and Tobago, Praveen Jagannath, the Prime Minister of Mauritius, Leo Varadkar, former Irish Prime Minister, Irfan Ali, President of Guyana, S.R. Nathan, former President of Singapore, and Mahendra Chaudhary, the former PM of Fiji. And I had my own personal interaction with the last one during my visit to Fiji 2 years back. Uh, Mahendra Chaudhary and I tried to, record his views on India, and he said that India is the land of our forefathers, and we are spiritually connected to India. And at any given point in time, we would love to go to India, and we always share a very good relationship with India because we consider a part of ours belongs to India. So, this is how these people are affecting, a bridge between these countries where they have themselves contributed immensely. Um, Not only that, these people are also affecting political changes and political decisions in many countries because they lobby and they advocate for a particular view or political principle, and as a group they are considered vital um, in effecting change. So they have been influencing policy making in many of their host countries, and obviously these policies certainly are soft on India, and that way India is also getting lot of benefit. For example, US India nuclear deal that materialized in 2008 was certainly affected by the strong Indian diasporic lobby. They push for strong ties between our country and the countries to which they have migrated, and as such, they work as diplomatic bridges between these two countries. Um, and as I mentioned earlier, the diasporic Indian community is acting as, India's soft power. So we don't have to fight with any country uh, to form policies that are pro India, but our diasporic community, by virtue of its contributions to that particular country and by virtue of the power uh, or importance that they have gained through their immense contributions, have been able to do that for us. They have been advocating for diaspora rights so that the people of their own community can live in peace and can lead a life that anybody else is leading in that particular country. Uh, and they are not othered or discriminated based on their country of origin or their race. So, Indian origin voters influence election outcomes. Why? Because they are always looked at as one homogeneous community despite all their uh, differences of culture and language back in India. And that's why last time when US presidential elections were around, there was a huge turnout of Indians when a program was, organized by the Indian community to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in that particular gathering, the US president and his council of ministers also participated. So that shows that the Indian community in the US is strong enough to invite and seek the attention of the head of the state himself. Um, so, as we saw in the previous slide, the people of Indian origin have strong political representation in various countries across the globe, and this has been, crucial in making uh, the bilateral relations successful or initiating, better relationships with many of the countries, many of the economic powers around the world. So, I quote one of our former prime ministers, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who said in 2008, um, I wish to record our special gratitude to the Indian community in the United States of America for the efforts made by them in mobilizing support of the political leadership in that country for Indo US cooperation in civilian nuclear energy. So, even Prime Minister also acknowledged the contributions made by the strong Indian diaspora that effected civilian nuclear energy support between India and US. However, we all know that the diasporic people have their own share of problems and challenges, because when you cross borders and you land in a new country, you find life a little difficult because you are away from your familiar settings and you are expected to follow certain codes that are alien to you initially. So you fall prey to many problems and challenges early on, especially there have been cases of racial discrimination. Most of the Indians face identity crisis. They have problems of adaptation and integration in the host culture. They are also exploited uh, as they are made to work on low wages and live in poor working conditions compared to some of their other counterparts. There have been instances where they are also victims of economic exclusion. And whatever happens, we are living in a dynamic world where uh, things have a ripple effect. So if something happens in one part of the world, it has its repercussions in the another part of the world. Post 9/11, there was a lot of change of sentiment against the people of this part. And there were many instances where many Indian people were attacked, uh, because the other people, the attackers, could not make out the difference between Osama bin Laden and some of the people belonging to Sikh community, because they had the looks or the expressions very much like them. So post 9/11, the entire Asian race became kind of victim of discrimination in US, UK, and Canada, because everyone was being looked at as a potential terrorist. So these problems are not uncommon for Indian diasporic people, and every political change or economic change impacts their lives. So recently we have seen that the change of guard in the USA has resulted in new policies, and as a result, many Indians, illegal Indians, have been deported back to India. So such problems and challenges are integral parts of the life of Indian diaspora. But nonetheless, Indian diaspora is a very important part of us and has been contributing significantly. To quote Burma, who says, Indian diaspora is seen as relevant mainly for its economic remittances, but it is also fundamental for more than that, which is for its social remittances in the form of ideas, values, beliefs, and practices. So, Indian diaspora, being one of the largest in the world, is an indispensable soft power tool which plays a critical role in the development story of India in many ways. So he cautions against looking at them merely as remittance providers, because they are not only contributing through their remittances, but they are also contributing socially and otherwise through their ideas, and through their propagation of Indian culture, cultural heritage, and Indian way of life. So, Indian diaspora is certainly crucial to us, and we continue this discussion in the next class as well. Um, uh, for more information on this, you can go through these suggested works, which have also helped in preparing this particular lecture. And we continue this discussion in the next class as well. And believe me, the idea behind having this elaborate discussion is to make you understand the full import of the Indian diaspora, in order to be able to understand the concerns raised by the writers in their fiction. So, I look forward to the next lecture with you. For now, thank you very much for your patience and your company. Thank you.